What is going on, YouTube? We are just getting started with a little Amazon FBA Q&A, private label, the best business model on Amazon. As always, we got my friends on the TikTok live right here. All right. So this new Amazon Vine program, or not new Amazon Vine program, but the new update to the Amazon Vine program, YouTube, that's what we were just talking about. I wanted y'all to hear it too. Essentially, before you had to have your products checked in to submit them into Vine, or available, or should I say launched. Your products had to have been launched. What Amazon is now allowing you to do is submit your products into Vine before your product ever goes live. Most people, including myself, when I first heard the update, would think, how is that possible? Because the Vine reviewer has to receive my product. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But how it is going to work is you can set a later launch date. So let's say that your product's checked in today, July 15th, but you set a later launch date to August 15th. Your products wouldn't be available to the public, but you can go in, stack up some of those Vine reviews, and then your product would launch. So it's allowing people to finally launch their products with reviews. So I think that's a great update by Amazon. I probably will not be utilizing it, but for people who struggle getting reviews, I do think that it's good. How do you weigh the boxes before sending? Zia, I don't touch any boxes. I don't touch my product at all. No, it is not drop shipping, but I am pretty hands-off in my business. So my manufacturer is handling all of the labels and all of that. And then my freight forwarder is going and measuring the dimensional weight. And because it doesn't go by like, if your product is 5 pounds and 5 by 5 by 3 inches in dimensions, there's actually a calculation that needs to be done. Off the top of my head, I can't do the calculation, but I do have a calculator that does it for me. Based on the dimensional weight is how much you would be paying for shipping. So what's your go-to? Private label, Salma, the best business model on Amazon. So such a great business model that no arbitrage or wholesale seller wants to debate me about it. Y'all already, if you were in the live when I first started, there was actually an arbitrage seller who I've been trying to get on the debate stage with me. And he was in the live for a little bit. I made the call out a few times, but we got nothing. Maybe he'll DM me. We'll see. I don't think so. Do you think it's good to start with OA and arbitrage to familiarize yourself with selling on Amazon? Nope. Not even a little bit. Why? There is nothing that you are going to learn from arbitrage that is going to carry over to your successful launch on Amazon. You know what you will learn how to do? Create an Amazon account. That's a one-time thing. List a product on Amazon. That takes 10 minutes to learn. Create a shipment on Amazon. That takes 10 minutes to learn. So I'm not going to go start a whole different business model that, again, not necessarily worth my time in order to go start private label. It's not for me. Bro, my campaign's paused because I had a problem with my billing method. Does the PPC robot need to start learning again? No, not if you're using the same campaigns. It might be a little bit of a run up for your campaigns again, Sheep, because like when you go out of stock, it's like, let's pretend you went out of stock. There would be a little bit of a, what's the word? Buffer period. Like a little bit of a buffer period where you're not going to instantly start getting those same results that you did unless you had a very popular product. Like if you were marketing the product elsewhere and you had a lot of traction for that product. So in that case, it'd be different. But in most cases, you kind of have to ramp up again. But I wouldn't pause your campaigns, because pausing your campaigns actually makes this a lot worse. Like when I run out of stock, I don't pause my campaigns. I set my campaign budgets to $1, because there are those like cases where sometimes there was like maybe a reserved piece of inventory. It goes back in stock. All of a sudden you get clicks. So if I just lower my campaigns to $1, that's my way of fixing that. Yep. Thank you for the explanation. I have 2 out of 30 claimed, launching in late July. Let's go, noob. I love that, bro. Wishing you well on your product journey. If you ever have any questions, my lives are always open. Do you put a California address when you create a shipping plan so they can ship it near port? That method is patched, Yodi. it is a patched method because, for example, we use the California, it really depends. Sometimes allegedly our manufacturer will allegedly provide us an address to use, but we recently just used a California address and we still got shipments down in, Tennessee, I think was one of them. There used, before Amazon added the inbound placement fee, there was a method on how to get all of your inventory sent to the West Coast. But yeah, and then Amazon added the inbound placement fee. So wondering what your advice is on suggested bids for an exact campaign. Trust the suggestions? Yes and no. Amazon does have great data, but sometimes the suggestions are a little off. I'll generally start on the more conservative side and then ramp them up over time, because sometimes, like, let's just keep the numbers simple. Amazon gives you a bid range of $1 to $2. They tell you that the suggested bid is $1.50. I've seen scenarios where you get good clicks and good placements under $1. So Amazon suggests, and I actually have a PPC video that I recorded for YouTube last week. It'll probably be out in 2 weeks. It hasn't been edited yet. Kind of covering suggested bids and everything. But Amazon suggested bids are exactly that. They are suggestions. Now, they're a good roadmap because we're not just going to necessarily guess our own bids, but you're really going to base your, at the start, what doesn't really matter where you put your bids, if we're being honest. Like, theoretically, it doesn't matter where you put your bids, because you're going to have to make bid adjustments and bid optimizations otherwise. So really put them where you want, and then you'll adjust from there. I was listening to, or one of the people who I learned PPC from back in the day made a really good point. Now, I tell people to start conservatively because I think most people would do it wrong. But like, again, let's use the example of $1 to $2. If you start conservatively, it's really a guess. If you start at $1, then you need to see the data and determine where your placement is and what bids you need that keyword in. So her suggestion is you just put your bids maybe on the, not the higher end, but higher than the conservative end. But most people don't know how to properly adjust their bids. That's why I always say the conservative side of bids. What is the Amazon inbound placement fee? So when you're creating a shipment on Amazon, there is 2 options now. There's the Amazon optimized shipment, which is where you send your products to 5 locations and you get no inbound placement fee. The requirement for that, though, is that you need to have at least 5 boxes of 5 units in your shipment. So if you have just one big box of 20 units, that, for hypothetically, obviously you're going to send more than 20 units, but one big box of 20 units, you're not even eligible for the 5 split option. But that option has no inbound placement fee. Now, the other alternative is the not Amazon optimized shipment, where you send your products to just one location and then you're going to pay the inbound placement fee, because Amazon used to do this for free up until 2024, where they would just distribute your inventory across fulfillment centers. But that obviously cost Amazon money. They were doing it for years and years and years and years since I started selling on Amazon. But I'm sure they realized, hey, we could make X more money if we start charging people to do that, or they just have to split up their shipments and then they're essentially covering that. That way it doesn't cost them as much money to distribute your inventory across the United States. What software do you use for private label? Helium 10. What's up? What's up, pizza? Good to see you. Leba or Leba. Tell me which one is correct, but thank you so much for the follow. Ooh, how about budget per campaign? I'm doing $10 per keyword, so total $50 for 5 keywords in a campaign. It doesn't work like that, noob. So the reason that it doesn't work like that is if you had a $10 budget and you had 10 keywords, all at $1 cost per click, hypothetically, you would get $1 spend on each keyword. But that's not how Amazon ads works. Amazon doesn't evenly distribute the ad budget on the keyword level, nor do they do it on the ad group level. This is why I only have one ad group per campaign. So you can't base your budget on the keywords in a campaign, because let's say that you have one campaign, $50 budget, 5 keywords. Now, 3 to 5 keywords is the range that I like to do. So 5 is the absolute max. But even what you're going to see is that, again, let's use the dollar cost per click, right? Let's just assume all your bids are $1 to keep the math simple. One keyword might get 25 clicks, so 25 in spend. One might get 10 clicks, so 10 in spend. Now you're at 35. Another one might get 8 clicks, and then the other one, where are we at? We're at 35, 8, and then the other one might get, actually, let's say one gets 9 and then one gets 7. So it's not going to evenly distribute your budget amongst those keywords. Lost, thank you for sharing the live, my brother. Good to see you. Just fixed my campaigns, bro. Check your WhatsApp after this live. Salam, one of the AMZ Masterclass students. One of the perks of being an AMZ Masterclass student is you get direct access to me. Me and Salam, we're going over his campaigns today. Also, Salam, remember you have your, I was going to message you this, but I'll just tell you here. Remember you have your one-on-one call with me still, bro. So we could always audit your campaigns if need be there. How much money do we need to start Amazon FBA? For private label, the business model that I do, I would say $3K USD. My brother is active with the lives. Love to see it. Yes, sir, Jeff. I'm kind of going and doing some overtime. Excuse me. Some overtime on the lives because I am going on vacation Friday. So I'm not going to have the best service where I'm going, even with Wi-Fi. So I'm, just getting in the lives when I can. Jeff, also an AMZ Masterclass student. Sheep, thank you for sharing the live, my brother. Good to see, I already said good to see you, but always good to see you anyways. Oh, yeah, let's set it up. Nice, bro. We could either do it. I mean, we'll message on WhatsApp. Salam, you already know you don't have to gift it, bro. But let's either set it up. I can do tomorrow. I can do Thursday. And then after that, you'd have to wait about a week because I'm going to be away. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the free game. Of course, noob. Have any idea of adding design in the USA, or have an idea of adding design in the USA in my us versus other image? What do you think? Yeah, doesn't hurt. Let's see, Patel, do you want me to just message you or do you want me to just answer you here? You let me know, bro. I don't care, you can answer here. Okay, so let's answer Patel's question. Obviously, I'm not going to read it. But I'll answer it here. Good. I want to verify. If you no, don't have that. Don't have her verify the account and just leave it as is. You're good where you are right now. Like where you are right now with the Amazon account situation, you're good there. So just leave it at that. How do I go about having you as a mentor? Go to the ticket. Actually, if you guys wanted the full context, go watch my pinned video on my profile. Okay, thanks. Of course, Patel. But I have a pinned video on my profile. We got a bunch of mentorship students up in the live today. Love to see it. But you guys would, so this is the pinned video. Where is it at? Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's right here. This pinned video. And you guys would go over to the TikTok bio and click, yes, I want to apply, go through the application. And that is where you guys can have direct access to me, as well as all of the services that I have created for the students. The Harvard, I've said it once, I'll say it again, the Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education. Are you Albanian? No, I'm Egyptian. Interestingly enough, that's the most common race people think that I am, is Albanian. I'm geographically challenged. I don't even know what part of the world that's from. Albania, but like I don't know where that is. I travel a lot, but I'm geographically challenged. But I'm Egyptian, 100%, born and raised in Southern California. Don't know why I said that with a country accent, because we're not really country down here. Let's get it. Also, if we get to, I thought Amazon through fits if two people had an account in the same address. Yeah, but they don't have an active seller account, so it's different, Patel. That's why I think just leave it. You've had your account, you've been, playing around with it, so you're good. What is the turnover time for one infographic got optimized? Sent an email today, no reply yet. The team's on a different time zone, Sheep, so they'll probably be awake in like an hour or so. But the turnaround time can vary. We try to get things turned around within a week. So just keep that in mind. It also depends on how absolute max 2 weeks, but I don't think we've ever had a turnaround that was 2 weeks. I could be incorrect there, but from my understanding, it doesn't take that long. Usually about a week. For one image, probably less time. Bet I would be able to challenge a suspension if they issue one, right? Yeah, for sure. And I don't think you have to worry about that, Patel. Like I think I mentioned this to you either on a different live or maybe it was via messages, but you're probably with a seasoned account, like your account is probably seasoned enough to where you're gonna be fine. So as long as nothing new comes up, like somebody doesn't go start another seller account or whatever, nobody's logging into anything after what you've already told me, you're gonna be good, bro. 3D render or photography, you need both. If you notice when you go shop on Amazon, not a single image that you see looks like somebody just took a picture and posted it on Amazon. They're all edited. So you're going to take pictures of your product and then you're going to go and have a graphic designer turn that into a 3D rendered main image. And then from there, you're going to have them take that 3D rendered main image and create all of your secondary images, AKA infographics. Strong, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Also, because I know that there's like 3 or 4 AMZ Masterclass students in here, y'all make sure you go check out the Facebook page. We have this week's call on Thursday, and we're going to be going over a solid topic. So make sure it's going to be a good lesson. I actually just prepped that today, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. And another plug about the TikTok videos is I posted some gem videos on the TikTok today. Last one is how to optimize your product listing. Second to last, how to create an Amazon seller account. That's for all the new people here. And third video is how profits work when selling on Amazon. A call out that I need to make, not even a call out, but I'm going to give everybody homework. If you guys are actually interested in how to sell on Amazon, I'm sure that this is not your first time listening to somebody talk about Amazon. The chances are you got, yes, homework, brother. We got homework today. Sheep, you don't have homework. You're already doing the thing. So this homework's not for you. But chances are you guys don't need any more information to go start step 1 to sell on Amazon. So everybody who is actually interested in selling on Amazon, and everybody who sits and watches Amazon content every day or every week, go do one thing this week. It's Tuesday. I'm actually going easy. I want you to think about this. The phrase of like, there's always somebody working harder. I do 5 to 7 things every day to get me closer to my goals or to accomplish certain things in my business. I create my power list. My power list is kind of like a to-do list, but not really. I put it in my notes every day. I'm looking at mine right now. Today it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. 5 things that I do every single day that are business oriented, and it doesn't matter. This is, I just saw a really good video from one of my buddies, and he's like, these morning routine videos that you see of people who are like, I wake up at 4 a.m. and this and that, and splash water on your face or put your face in an ice water or whatever. That's all nonsense. That's all nonsense. What really matters is about your input in work. So are you putting in enough input towards your goals, towards your business to achieve it? You want to know what time I used to be an early waker, at least early for me. I'd be up 7 a.m., hit the gym. You want to know what time I wake up now? Can anybody guess what time I wake up now? And it's not because I took my foot off the pedal or took my foot off the gas. If anything, I actually work harder and more because I have more businesses, more things that I need to do throughout the day. 2 p.m. Nah, bro, come on, give me some credit. Not that late. Not that late. It's still in the a.m., but it's just not no 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Dutch has got it. 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I wake up at noon for all you East Coasters. But yeah, I wake up at 9 a.m. I go to bed fairly late. Sometimes I work till late. But I wake up at 9, easy breezy. But it's about the work that I get done. Because after the gym, it's just blinders on. And I'm sitting here getting my work done. And I will not I'll eat and do all of that stuff. You wake up at 6 p.m. for me, bro. Lock in. You're funny, sheep. Those different time zones. But yeah, and I sit down here outside of eating and using the restroom. I don't get up and go do other things. Sometimes I might go and grab some food or something like that. And if I get done with my things at 6 p.m., sweet. If I wait and maybe I'm lollygag, like today actually, keeping it 100 with you guys, today was, I wouldn't call it an off day because it's been a very productive day, but like, I think this is actually relative. I was going to say didn't feel like the most productive day, but I think that's just because I had less things to do today. And yesterday I was just like, again, foot on the pedal, and I did a lot yesterday. So sometimes when I do a lot one day and then carry on to the next day, it doesn't feel like a lot, but even today, I still sat down. I got the things that I needed to get done. So you guys got to start taking action. I know there's a lot of action takers in this live right now, but I'm just speaking generally. Launching my first product, having some issues with duty, tax, and freight. Any tips? Well, what are the issues that you're having? If you could be a little bit more specific, that's kind of broad and general. Those are also 3 different things. Well, technically. But yeah, if you let me know a little bit more about what's going on, I could definitely give you some insight on it. This is one of the beauties of using my freight forwarder, because a lot of these things I don't necessarily need to worry about. Not that I don't have to pay taxes and like tariffs and stuff like that, but they handle everything for me. Having a good freight forwarder is key. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, but again, that was a little bit of a broad question, so I don't know. And just because I feel like the questions are slow and I don't feel like yapping, y'all, if we get to, I'm actually going to make it a hard goal because I always make it really easy for you guys. We got to get to 4K likes and we'll do live product research today. Luke, for what things or parts of the listing do you use A/B testing on Amazon? I A/B test everything, bro. Titles, images, main image, infographics, A+ content. It's all about testing. All about testing. I mean, you got to think of like more traditional, well, I guess this isn't really traditional, but more not Amazon kind of businesses. Like if Coca-Cola put out an ad campaign, they're going and testing like the slightest things. They'll have, let's use, here's a good one, because this may be a little bit more relatable, because I'm sure everybody watches YouTube. Like I've listened to Mr. Beast talk about it, and it's very interesting to think of how like the thing that he does in his business, because YouTube is his business, and the things that I do with Amazon, he will go in, he'll drop a video, and he'll go and test multiple different thumbnails and then base it on the metrics, multiple different titles. Like they have them ready before they even drop the video. And they're testing different angles, different sceneries, different colors, all of this stuff. So you got blessed day, blessed night comment coming. So you guys need to be able to test everything when it comes to Amazon, and then base your optimizations on the numbers, your click-through rate, your conversion rate, your impressions, your, told you, blessed day, blessed night. Good to see you, Layla. So yeah, basing it on your metrics and then making optimizations from there. Did this title make my metrics become better, or did it make it become worse? Did adding A+ content improve my metrics? Did adding a video on my listing improve my metrics? Everything should be a test. Everything should be a test when you're selling on Amazon. Brother, do you have to go through a U.S. legal attorney to apply for a trademark if you're not living in the U.S.? If you're getting a U.S. trademark, yes, you need a U.S. trademark attorney. So you actually use A/B testing tool on Amazon. Okay, thanks. I'm going to do that then. You could do it manually. It really doesn't make a difference on what you use, because you can track the data too. So again, you go in, edit your listing, swap out the main image from your previous main image, and then go, once you start, you're running your ads and stuff. Did my conversion go up? Are my sales improved? If you go from 10 reviews to 20 reviews, okay, did my conversion go up? Did my sales go up? Is my tacos going down? Is Fiverr good to hire an attorney? I've never hired an attorney on Fiverr, so I wouldn't be the one to ask that. I use the IP Accelerator program. We're just an independent attorney that I find. I sometimes use the tool sheet, but I'm an old school guy, so I also use I also just do it manually sometimes. So to first start Amazon FBA, I need to get ungated and purchase at least 10 items of everything. I do not do that business model. I own the brands that I sell. I do not sell existing brands. That business model is not for me. So should I start with private label with 10K? Nope. You should start with a test run order of 100 to 300 units. That's not going to cost you 10K for 90% of products that you would go launch. So you do not need 10K. Do you sometimes retest images? Not retest them, but if I make a change, so if I have image A and image B, I test image A, and then I upload image B, but image A performed well, then I'll go back to image A, and then I'll continue to try to optimize it. There's always room for growth. So I think I've actually seen this play out where there's Amazon sellers who get complacent. And when you become complacent, there's always somebody working harder than you. So like they'll be like, oh, I'm at a 15% conversion, I'm good. You still have a lot more conversion that you could potentially go and capture, and that's going to equal more sales, lower ad spend, lower tacos. So it's always about continuously optimizing. We'll go in maybe a few times a year. If we like on an established product, we'll go in a few times a year and optimize SEO or their new keywords or the things that new competitors have come in and started doing. We're always making pushes for reviews. That's a never-ending thing, especially through like the request a review tool. Yeah, really doing my best at 6% conversion. Can't stop thinking about my listing all day long. That's good, bro. That's not a bad thing. 6% conversion isn't great, but the fact that you're sitting there thinking about your listing all the time, that means that you're not trying to be complacent. If anything, Sheep, like I know even hearing it from me isn't going to be the same. And I know that as like for me, the things that I work on, I'm going to be harder on myself about. But bro, you're figuring it out. You don't necessarily have, and I know I do appreciate that message that you sent me, but you don't necessarily have like a direct mentor like some of my students do. You're basing it on like these lives, content that you're watching, and you're constantly trying to learn. It's like me when I started. I mean, I did have mentors, and at some point I started paying to go to conferences and paying to play and stuff. But you're putting in the work. I mean, Sheep, you've been in the live long enough to see how many people will come in and be like, bro, I don't have any sales on Amazon. Why is Amazon doing this to me? And it's like, how many reviews do you have? They're like, none. What have you done to optimize your listing? Nothing. So yeah, I'm really scraping my information together from everywhere. That's good, bro. Utilize all of the resources that you have available to you. Again, I'm not saying that you're at the finish line right now. Stop. Alex is so funny. Every time he comes in the live, he just be trolling. Alex is also an AMZ Masterclass student. You always be trolling. Richie, thank you for the follow, bro. I haven't got no sale at Amazon. Yeah, bro. Everybody, that's the thing that everybody says. The problem, I don't blame those people either. I give those people grace. The problem is people making Amazon seem like a get-rich-quick scheme. Bro, I hope everybody having a good day today. I hope you're having a good day too, Alex. But yeah, the problem is people making business seem like a get-rich-quick scheme. How can I become an expert on PPC? Learning and doing. Learning and doing. Learning and doing. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Test, optimize, repeat. Test, optimize, repeat. Learn, test, optimize, repeat. Same way that from me not knowing anything about Amazon PPC ads, I now consider myself one of the best at Amazon PPC ads. I have the most in-depth guide on PPC ads out there in the AMZ Masterclass. Do you have to pay U.S. taxes if you sell in the U.S. from another country? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. If you're making money in the U.S., you best believe the U.S. government's going to come and collect that money. But that's why you got to get a good CPA, user 84. A lot of people fear taxes. I'm not saying you're just asking a question simply. But yeah, a lot of people fear taxes, but speak to a CPA about it, user 84. Where can I start learning good content for PPC? Go to my profile, click on the PPC tab, start watching the 60 free videos that I have on PPC ads. And those are just the videos that I put in that playlist. I have way more. I sell all types of products: hat, home and kitchen, health and household, home decor, office products, baby products, toys and games are some of my top selling products. What up, Aeon? Good to see you, my guy. Hope you're doing well. That goes for everybody who is up in the live right now. Remember, if we get to 4K likes in the next, we got to get it actually quick because we're running. We ran double overtime yesterday. We're not going to do a hour and 30-minute live again. But if we get it in the next like 10 minutes, we'll do some live product research today. Do you have a video somewhere you can explain how to analyze the search query performance report? Yes, but it's probably so far down because I don't think I've made a video about that since like 2024. So if you want to go on one of my more, give you guys a little hack. If you guys ask really good questions on videos that have more views, I will likely make a video response to your comment. So Sheep, if you go to one of my more viewed videos and you ask that question, I'll make a video for you to break it down. Dear, what is the FBA fee for fashion products in UAE? Look up on, number one, I don't sell clothing. I think that's the worst category, one of the worst categories you can sell on Amazon. Two, I don't sell in the UAE. So best way to find that out is what are the Amazon FBA fees in UAE? Google search. What's your go-to keyword research software? Magnet and Cerebro tool from Helium 10. How much profit, and is that monthly? This is yearly sales, year to year. So this is from June 2024 to the end of June 2025. And the profit is 40% margins after everything. By the way, your book, where can I buy it? We're finishing up the landing page on it. As soon as the landing page is finished, Sheep, I'm going to post a video, and then I'm going to add it to my TikTok bio as well so that y'all can go check it out. Dear, what about home category? Like I said, same answer. I don't sell in the UAE, so the best way is what are the Amazon FBA fees in the UAE, and then Google will do the rest. Have you tried Data Dive? Oh, that's the company. It's funny. No, I haven't, but the owner of that company used to come into my lives every single day trying to get me to use his software, but I have not. I was pretty loyal to Helium 10, but I actually might hit him up and circle back. Great example of sometimes it's just not the right time for someone. It wasn't the right time for me, but I have been shopping around for other softwares. I got on a call with a really solid software company, and I really liked what they had going on some of the back ends. But the problem was it's just so different from Helium 10 that like I don't think it's the best for product research, because the guy who was like talking to me about it, they came from the wholesale space when they started this software, and then they started transitioning into private label tools. And the guy who I was talking to, he doesn't actually sell on Amazon. He just works for a company. And so super cool dude. I'm not saying anything bad by any means, but he's showing me, I'm like, okay, well, what about this? You know, obviously all the things that I know that I need for a software, but, well, I'll touch on that in a sec, Aeon. But the thing is, they didn't have a good enough product research thing for, they had a lot of things where you can find a lot of insights on products, but it wasn't good for product research, especially the way that I've done product research for years. And I have a very rinse and repeat system for product research. So unfortunately, as much as I wanted to like it, I don't think that I will be moving forward with it. But I might hit up, I think it's Data Dive is Brandon Young, right? I think so. Yeah, I might hit him up. He's always in my DMs. It seems kind of solid, does some of the manual work for you. That's the part I don't agree with. These are supposed to be tools. They're not supposed to replace what you do, Aeon. It's kind of like the dude who I started making videos of, where he's like, my software tells me that this is good and this is good. And no. I use the software to look at the data, and then I determine if it's good. I don't let the software do anything for me. Same thing with my keywords. Helium 10 gives me a huge list of keywords. I don't rely on that, because it's going to give you a bunch of broad keywords, things that aren't necessarily relevant. You go through and have to find the keywords that are most relevant to your product and all of that. These things are meant to be used as tools. I know you're talking about that. Or I know you're talking about that $1,000 man. Yeah. That's the person Sheep just mentioned. Please don't give me flashbacks to Operation Ecom. Still need to sleep. Don't worry, Brian. Still got like 2 more videos in my drafts going over his videos. It's all good. I wish everybody the best. I'm going back to staying in my lane. I went a little bit hard on not hard as in like, oh, I was too hard on him, but I went a little hard on making content about his content, but like that's not my MO. I'm not trying to disprove anybody. Let people teach nonsense information. Paper Route, thank you so much for the follow. Hey, grab that promotion. It's $1,000. I guarantee you're gonna sell. There's no guarantees in business, man. You guys got to be careful. I mean, I talked about this on yesterday's live. You guys got to be careful about people who make guarantees. Are you talking about sell seller? Nah, his name's I don't even want to dox it. Actually, yes, I will. Operation Ecom. Put me in the ring with them. I'll go hard. That's funny. I got a question for you. I see that competitors ranking for irrelevant keywords. Thoughts on this? Good for them. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's not. So, like, let's use an example. You sell, what's a good one? You sell like a plant, right? A fake plant. What do you mean by that, Patel? No, like I said, Patel, I know that you're definitely trying to cross your T's and dot your I's. Where your current standing is, you're good. You're good on that Amazon account, bro. But back to this question. So let's say that you sell like a plant, something like behind me. No, bro, I've never ever claimed to make $1 million a month. I do 6 figures a month, but 6 figures is not 1 million. 1 million is 7 figures. But anyways, so you sell a plant. So obviously your main keywords would be like, I don't know, depending on the plant, like fake palm tree or fake whatever tree, artificial whatever tree, all of these things. But you may rank, or one of your competitors may rank on like something super broad, like home decor or home products. That's just really good SEO / really good sales / a mix of PPC. Now, I do not think you guys should start there. Most people will lose money trying to follow that strategy. But what do you think about hair ties? Nope, not a product to sell, bro. Michael, most products that you think are going to sell well probably will not sell well. It's not about launching products that we think will do well or that we like. It's about launching products with good market numbers. Okay, I was worried since in the deposit account her name is listed, but I just changed it. You'll be fine. You'll be good. Like I was just talking to an old high school friend, and he's gonna join the mentorship with somebody that he's gonna go into business with, like a business partner. And he was like, "Yeah, she wants to sell." And I'm only gonna say this product because I made sure to let him know not to sell this product. But he's like, "Yeah, she wants to sell dog leashes." I was like, "Terrible product, bro." He's like, "Yeah, because she has a dog and she thinks it'd be really good." And I was like, "No, it's not a good product to go launch." It's not about all of the products that I thought would do good, that I liked, that I wanted to sell were products that didn't work out for me. In fact, one of my best product launches ever was a product that I was like, the numbers were good. So I was like, okay, we're going to launch this. But I was like, who would buy this product? Like, there's no way that people are actually buying this product. And bro, Michael, I definitely see where your head's at, bro. But you're falling into the trap of how most beginners think Amazon works, and it's not how Amazon works. Total revenue 3.3 mil. It doesn't matter what the total revenue is, because you're probably thinking, if I can only take 1% or 5% of that, then I'm going to make this much money. That's not how it works, bro, because you're going up against competition that's too established. Again, there's a method to the madness. It's not just launching any product that will sell. I wasn't thinking that. Well, then I don't know what you're thinking, but that's not the strategy, bro. I mean, you could go try it by all means. It makes no difference to me. You could go try it, but then, in 6 months, come back into the live and let me know that I was right. I'm just here to give you guys the information that's allowed me to become successful on Amazon. I could lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. I'm giving you guys the advice that's helped me have over a 70% success rate in launching new products and not losing money on those products. But if you don't want to listen to the advice, then again, it doesn't really make a difference to me. It's not my money that I'm launching the product with, you know what I mean? The advice is to not launch that market because it's not a good market, and that you should follow a very strict product criteria because you're looking at a product's market, multiple different metrics, and what market is a good market. I posted a video yesterday. It's like a 9-minute video on how to sell on Amazon, and I go over my product criteria that I personally use to find winning products to sell on Amazon. If a product does not meet that criteria, then I don't touch it. Oops. Do you think it's a good strategy? Oh, wait, I missed this. How about if somebody was selling a dog chew toy, but they also rank for a dog ball? Same advice, Aeon. Like dog chew toy, let's just for fun, let's entertain this thought. I'll even entertain the thought of the hair tie. Obviously, I'm not analyzing products for anybody, but let's look at it. Dog chew toy. We're going to look it up on Amazon here. Okay, so dog chew toy. Let's pull up the product research extension. I mean, Michael, just respectfully, bro, like I'm cool answering everybody's question. I love the questions, but like, yeah, the vibe's a little off, my friend. Again, you don't have to listen to my advice. You asked the question. You're in my TikTok live. And I say that respectfully. I'd love to have you. I'd love to give you the advice. I wish you well regardless of whether you listen to me or not. But again, I could lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. All right, so we're going to pull it up. And I'm going to show you guys. While I'm pulling that up, let's get to these questions. Even your 1% gets reduced to 1/3 after costs. Yeah, that's business though. Your advice is always on point, Luke. Thanks. Of course, Trauma. Did you ever have a Vine review or just not leave a review? Yes. Could you teach me? Yes, Michael. That's what these lives are about, bro. Okay. Luke just booked a call. Did you actually book a call? Like you got a confirmation? Because I know that you, but if you did, that's amazing. I can't wait for you to speak to Adam. Nice. Let's go. Can't wait for you to speak to Adam. He's a really cool dude. Like I said, he speaks for me. You can teach me how to use Amazon. Yes. How many SKUs do you keep in stock on average? I mean, all of my active SKUs. So we have over 40 products. Hold on, I got to do a puzzle to stay on live. I got brand registry, but I found out what's going on. How am I getting this puzzle wrong? Hold on. There we go. There we go. Passed the test. Was never good at tests. But I found out I can't report a listing reseller because my trademark is pending. If you have brand registry, yes, you'll have access to the there's another way to go about it, Aeon. So what you could do is order the person who's infringing on your product, get the product. You'll take pictures of it showing that, because there's no way it's a one-to-one replica of your product, and then you send that to Amazon's brand registry team. They'll kick them off the listing. All right, let me share this with YT, and then I'll flip the camera around for you guys. Look, I'm headed to bed already. 5 a.m. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Sheev. Good to see you as always, my guy. Okay, so let's move this up. So here we have, okay. Now, average price, $11, way too low. We want a product that's at least $30. Look, it's kind of like what Michael was saying. Oh, but the total revenue is 5 million. That's irrelevant. I mean, yeah, we do look at a product that has at least 200K revenue, but looking at the entire market's numbers is absolutely irrelevant, because we're going to go sell a low price product. And I bet you if we went and looked at the cost per clicks on this, it would be over $1.50. Average reviews, 16,000. And why does that matter for us as Amazon sellers? Because watch this. When we look at low reviewed sellers, there's 2 on page 1. 1 makes 10K plus a month. What are the chances that you're going to be that one seller? It will be too hard to rank on Amazon for dog chew toy. Not a good market to go launch by any means. Let's run it back. Let's go to hair ties. Hair ties, I think, is going to be lower than an average, hold on, I gotta do this, $11 price. So we'll pull up our data. I'm new here. What do you do? Sell products on Amazon. Wait for it to load. What are the max reviews that you would still go into a market for? Like 700, 800. I just launched my first product. How do I scale there? Best advice, get reviews. I'm going to launch hair product, $40. Look at this, $7. $7 average price. I'm not touching a product that's $7. So look, he says, oh, but the revenues, I mean, he said 3.3, but it's actually 2.7 million total revenue. And then look, 7,903 reviews. Oh man, we have to refresh it. I despise that Helium 10 does this recently. Always when I'm on lives too. Never when I'm doing this by myself, but always when I'm on lives. So hold on. Should I be fine breaking even to build my account's views and sales? Yes, I think that's totally cool if you're building your organic rank and you're optimizing your conversion. Conversion up, rank up, tacos down. All right, come on, Helium 10. You're making me look bad here. Not to mention, I'm going to show you guys another thing with these hair ties. I mean, there we are. Oh my goodness. Is this kind of like drop shipping? No, it has some similarities, but it's not drop shipping. No, it's not letting me set my filter, which is the whole point of what I want to show you guys so that you can understand it better. But even as we're scrolling through here, look at all of these. 2,000 reviews, 9,000 reviews. There is one with 100 reviews, so good on them. Let's see, will this work? Oh, okay, we'll just do it manually. Hair ties are too generic, way too generic. You can't even stand out and differentiate this product. I mean, I guess good on this listing. This is kind of different, but yeah, you know what hair ties my lady uses? Black ones right here. It's not buying things like this, so. All right, so let's look. We're going to start from the bottom down. Obviously, Helium tends to be a buster. I'm not going to count everyone. Don't worry. 800, 4,000, 500. We'll just scan. We'll see. 900, 6,000, 3,000. All of these are on page 1. If you're selling on Amazon and you're not on page 1 on an established product, of course, you guys aren't going to launch on page 1, so don't worry about that. But if you don't get your product to page 1, you're not going to see the success that you want. 4K, 6K, 1K, 6K, 6K, 2K, 9K, 10K, 2K, 2K. Look at all these reviews here. This is the only seller, one seller who has 100 reviews. And they sell for $2.99. That's wild. Actually, even at 1K plus bot, that's 3K. They're not even doing over 10K. 9K, 2K, 10K, 24K, 3K, 600, 7, 12K, 240. So that's still over 240 or 200 reviews. 4K, 4K, 13K, 42K, another 200, still 208, still over 200 reviews. 3K, 1200, 6K, 13K, 4K. I know I said I wasn't going to name them all, but I lied. I decided that I'm going to. 27 reviews, 0 sales. 22K, 62K, 28K, 19K. And those are our sellers on page 1. You're going to launch on Amazon with 0 reviews. And to say, oh, but the total revenue for hair ties is $3 million. Okay, but you're not going to get, and that's on page 1. You're not going to get on page 1 with how established the position is. On this one, you'd probably have to spend a lot. Not only would you have to spend a lot, look at the pricing. You're talking about mostly sub $10. 6, 5, 8, 8, 6, 5, 4, all sub $10 pricing. And it's such a high search volume keyword. Cost per clicks go up based on how much people are searching for the product, the demand. This is a high demand product. So you're going to have an average $7 product with probably a cost per click over $1.50. And that is why you have to look at the numbers. I don't even think that the homie's still in the live who was talking about that. He might have gotten, I don't know, maybe he is, but yeah, just leave it at that. If I have a bag similar to someone on Amazon, can I still sell it under my brand? Yes, but you should always differentiate your product from the competition. Art, thank you so much for the follow. Boss, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate both of y'all and everybody in the live. Wonder how much, I'm still sharing my screen to YT. Wonder how much, I answered that. Can I sell from East Africa? Yes. I don't sell anything less for $650 FBA. I don't sell anything for less than $30 nowadays. You probably scared him. I mean, yeah, I'm just very direct. Y'all, everybody who's in the lives knows, like, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. If you want somebody who's going to tell you that every product is a good product to sell and who's going to give you bad advice that's going to lead to somebody losing money, I'm not your guy. I'm just not your guy. Simple as that. I'm going to be very direct with my answers, and that probably turns a lot of people off. I mean well with all of my answers. Even if I tell somebody that they're wrong, I say it because I want you to win. If I didn't care about people winning, I wouldn't do these lives. See ya. In my own lane. Where do you upload your videos? TikTok, YouTube, IG. Alrighty. But everybody, do you focus on private label? Arbitrage isn't worth my time, bro. I'm all private label. All the numbers you guys see on my accounts, all my videos, private label, the best business model on Amazon. So if you guys like the videos, which I post so many free videos for all of y'all to go see, a lot of free resources. So make sure you utilize those resources. Also got tabs on my TikTok here going over a bunch of different things for all of y'all. But for those who wanted a more in-depth guide and to have me as your mentor, literally have direct access to me, check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship. I'm not going to go over everything because you guys can just go on the site and see all the things that are included in the mentorship. It is a full, just realized you surpassed your old account. God's plan, Airstick. I'm glad you noticed, bro. God's plan. Yeah, that